I just finished writing in my worry book, and I am putting a little bit of washi tape on the bottom, which is what I've been doing the past couple days. So that's like how it looks. So I'll put like one little line, and if there's like a little extra, I'll put it under the date where that is. I didn't do it that day, but I did a little that day. This has been interesting because it's like the opposite, without intending to. It's the opposite of how I've been using my planner, which once again, my planner isn't actually used as a planner. It's more of like a did it log where I document what I did for the day. But the way I use this is I create my collage on it first before I write in it. So that's like before anything happens in the day. Like I create my collage, and then I write down all the stuff that I did for the day. And what I'm realizing as I kind of allow these practices to evolve is I'm learning how I best put my information from my head down on paper. And I have a lot of preferences, it turns out, in that area. So I'm really excited that the internet has the same special interest as me right now with Journal Talk, because it is given me permission to care about things that I do care about, but I just didn't know how to care about them, or that it was something I was allowed to care about. I feel like that is the main theme of unmasking as a late diagnosed autistic, is I am finding out what I'm allowed to care about. And it's been really beautiful because it's given me ways to express myself in like every small, even small facets of my daily life. Like that's where the biggest impact has been, in how I can create a routine full of rituals that like nourish me and that are fun to do while I do them. And I get to be like, it's even fun because I get to like act like a scientist, or like someone that's like working with like a very skilled thing. Like, look, I'm using tweezers, and then I have like the special super sharp scissors. And like, yeah, no, I don't need to do any of this stuff. Like this is a lot of hoopla for putting a sticker once again in my book, but that's kind of what I've been practicing with the planner collages, is how to like, I don't know, have fun with these things so that they remain an attractive option for me to keep in my daily schedule. All right, this is surgery right now, you guys. Hold on. I think that was a really good. I was gonna say extraction, but it's not an extraction. Yeah, that looks so nice. I think what I'm finding as I kind of am doing these is this is all kind of under the umbrella term of like my personal curriculum class, where I'm exploring different ways to journal. And once again, anything that allows me to understand what I'm doing so that I can create concrete steps, tangible things that I can like latch onto, gives me access to creating rituals that are customized to me. If they're customized to me, they are much more effective in taking care of me, which is the whole purpose. Because self-care has always been so vague and unattainable before this period for me, and what it feels like a lot of people, I mean, because it was so vague before this, I think that the most helpful thing for me is whenever I can get specific. That looks so pretty. I like light blue. On that note, I wanted to share some of the specifics about my practice because everyone else on the internet is doing it. And I love it when my special interest is validated and supported and encouraged and inspired by TikTok. So this is my worry book that I have been doing my morning pages in. It's like suede. It's got this on the front and it's got like that gold thing there. I think the good things are coming is very appropriate for a worry book because, like I said in my last video, I am trying to give the respect that it deserves to my concerns, to the part of me that is like the right side of my brain, the logical side that's like thinking ahead. And I want to make sure that that part of me, like an employee of me, of like the board inside my head, like that employee feels supported and like they can contribute. That's what I was thinking about this morning. I was thinking about how much I need to feel like I am contributing to a community for me to feel good in it. If it's just me feeling like I'm being supported by other people, it doesn't feel good to me because I want to add what I have to give to others, and it feels really good when I know that I've done that. So like when I post on here and people say that the way I've reframed something helps them, that's like the best feeling I can have of fulfillment inside of me, where I feel like what I am doing is being an effective community member. Like I'm being a good girl. Like that's how it turns out in my mind, in my like upbringing as someone that really wanted gold stars. Like that is a gold star in the flesh, in the form of like a comment on here. So what I've been doing with this is I have been using, my favorite pen to write with is these Copic drawing pens actually. And it is a 01, and this is the sepia. I also have them in like, they're like kind of grayish black, but I really like this. And I didn't even notice until I started doing it, but like the dates on here are tan too, so it makes sense and it looks really clean. Something I've gotten off of TikTok from watching other people do like bullet journaling is formatting for the ways that they write. That's so important to me. Like the design element of what I'm working on needs to look good. I'm an artist, like I'm a visual person, and so it feels pointless to me if it looks ugly. And it unfortunately like removes, like in my mind, I devalue what I'm doing if it doesn't look good. And knowing that, instead of being like, you shouldn't think that way, knowing that I am, instead of kind of shaming myself and trying not to care about it, I am trying to support that employee, like the employee that is like, we can make this look good enough. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be better and it can look good and we can like it. And part of my ability to do that has been reliant on my capacity to hold I think it's my capacity to see that flexibility does promote a better quality product in the end. And this actually goes along with what I wrote about today, which is about what trust means to me. Trust that the universe is going to support me when I don't know what to do in a situation. When I have to accept that I can't control certain elements and I'm at a standstill. Before, my emotional upbringing, my emotional like life and regulation was such that I couldn't like handle the discomfort that came with not knowing what was going to happen. And so a lot of my actions would be swimming against the current upstream to force a solution. Not because I thought that I needed to force a solution. I didn't know that's what I was doing. I thought that letting something simmer and just like giving something time was being lazy or being entitled and just being like ignorant, willfully ignorant. But as I've like really done a lot of work on myself and understood myself better, I recognize now like that giving something time is often what something needs to have a better outcome in the end. And like so many of my realizations, like this is a big picture concept that is like very duh. But the way that I get to these is through this really thick, dense forest of bottom-up processing where I am really tuned into all the details and I can't understand how they're all working together, like the umbrella terms that would be getting me to the big picture. Like, I don't understand what is going on and what we're all doing here until I get there my way, which is through noticing small details and then putting the puzzle pieces together and then being like, oh, some things take time. Okay. So the way that that like relates into what I was saying before is that my flexibility in my own rituals, my daily things that I want to have as a constant part of my life has looked like starting a notebook even though I don't know exactly how I want it to look yet. And when I started this in September, when I started doing the collages in September, they've evolved so much. They are so much cooler now than when they started, and I'm so proud to be able to see that progress. But my mind was not able to comprehend that this is how my process would look. And it took a lot for me to allow this to be imperfect and to still give myself the encouragement to tweak the things that I could tweak instead of just being like, oh, it's hopeless. I will never find a practice that makes sense for me. So this is the pen I use. This is the spray that I spray before I sit down and do some of these things. It's called Boy Smells by Woodforia. I made a video a while back about how like scent has been a new addition to my life since I got my sense of smell back after not having it after getting COVID while I was pregnant. And so this is something that like sets the scene for me, that sets a mood, a vibe, like lighting a candle might. And this is a scent that I've purchased in the past year since I've been like approaching self-care in this way. So there is no like previous associations with this scent and another one that I use sometimes, which is really helpful because it's like I'm building new memories for myself intentionally. Even if the memory is just I sit down and write in my worry book every day. I used to use this Friction ball pen. It's a 0.38. I like the really fine lines. I think that they look really good. But one thing that I've noticed is that I can't write very fast with them because the ink doesn't come out quick enough. So it's something that really helps me slow down. When I slow down, I also notice how I'm holding the pen and like how tightly I'm holding it. Then I also notice if I haven't been breathing for a few minutes. And so I do that. So you see it's like a domino effect of like, when I can put these little pieces into my ritual, how they can be checkpoints for me to check in with myself to make sure that I'm having the experience I want to be having. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. In my collage planner, I've been writing with a 0.3 Pentel pencil, and this one's been good for that. I was using the pen for a while, but the pencil has more of a consistent look. Like I was gonna try to use, because this one has like a red, gray, and a blue. So I was trying to use that for different things, but it got to be too much. Like I wasn't remaining consistent, so it ended up looking more messy. So until I can decide on like a system for that, I am using pencil. I am filling out the did it's part daily. Like that is something I have been consistent in, as well as like making a collage, but I have not been using this space, and that's been something that now I am okay with, because I've been going back and using that for more like in-depth planning. I guess that's like the actual planner element of that. So that's where my projects get looked at. That's where I take notes for anything that I'm like learning, studying. And so it's created a really cool artifact. This I consider to be an artifact of this period of my life that I'm going to treasure forever, because this is when I started being able to like feel like I had control in my life, which is massive for me. Some of the other specifics about this practice for me that I thought I'd share, because maybe it might help you too, is I've had to get different tables. This is an adjustable table and it kind of hooks over the bed. I've also gotten adjustable chairs. You can see like this one is where I can kind of like put my legs up, or I can shift it around, and I can also just like put my legs down. I have a vibrating plate that I've been using a lot lately. That has been very soothing for me. It's also been a way for me to kind of, it's also been helpful for my lymph like drainage. That's something that a practice that I started a few years ago. But when I don't want to just like gouache on my face or whatever, like that is a way that I can like multitask in something while I'm also doing pelvic floor exercises. I realized yesterday I hate the term exercises. It immediately bores the shit out of me. So I feel like I want to find other ways of like describing exercises, but my physical therapy, which I haven't been to a physical therapist for over a year, like over a year and a half now for anything, but I still try to, when I remember, do my pelvic floor therapy exercises and my like yoga, incorporating it in. And part of what that looks like for me is the way I think about it, the way I frame that for myself is my body needs to be woken up every day. A friend of mine told me that fascia really likes when we acknowledge it. It gets excited. And when she told me that, that like opened up a whole area of my mind to me being able to like talk to my body and be like, hi fascia, when we get into like a cold shower or something, and my fascia is like, ugh. Having the ability to connect with myself in that way, in a cute, fun way, like those are the gems that I take with me in like moving forward with my routine, kind of constructing my routine. So anytime I can adjust my hips or like spend some time like, you know, doing yoga. Yoga for me is like stretching my body and waking it up and being like, hey, we're a body. Like, let's be a body today, and let's be a body that feels really nice. So I'm aware of all of those parts of my body where normally I would be like hunched over. Normally I wouldn't be able to engage my core because I forget that it exists, that I could do that. So that's another part of my practice. I think that's all I want to share about this part right now.